So what would you like to be coached on today, Shelley?
I actually don't know. I guess maybe I'm at a point, I'm kind of stuck, not sure actually which way I want to go. And
Okay.
I feel like I'm stuck in real estate. I'm kind of stuck in life with real estate. If I actually want to go this way, or do I want to go that way? Um, I have tons of leads. I get leads every week, like lots of leads. I don't have that problem.
Okay.
I have a problem with following through with them and keeping them. So I feel like maybe that I'm not where I'm supposed to be. My daughter and I own a boutique together that was supposed to start off as hers. She's not following through with what she should be. So I have to step in over there with her, and I'm getting pulled over there more than what I should be.
Okay.
And that's pulling me away from real estate. So now I feel like that I don't know which way I'm supposed to be going.
Okay. Um, why do you need to go one way or the other?
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I don't have the answer for myself.
Okay.
I I don't know. I'm just in I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if I can't figure out the balance. I feel like that she drains me, and then I don't have it left in me to come home, or I sit here and I stare like, what am I supposed to do?
Okay.
Um, and I have all these leads, and I'm like, do I have anything left in me after she drains me? And where do I go now? And then I feel like I'm letting my broker in charge down. And like, I have all this in front of me, and I'm just like, oh, that's where I am.
That's
Stuck.
You're
I'm
stuck.
just stuck. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
stuck. That's why I'm like, my 8 hours of books, like they're full. They're completely full. And I'm like, oh, like we do Zillow leads. She pays for so many leads. And I mean, our little boutique firm does 60 plus million.
Wow,
And
that's good.
there's that's with 5 operating.
That's great. Yeah, that's good. Those are
Um,
good numbers. Okay.
and
So,
I'm down here. I'm the lowest on the totem pole because I'm stuck.
okay. So
I
you're
shouldn't be
telling
that way.
yourself yeah, okay. So you're telling yourself you're stuck.
Yes.
You're thinking I'm stuck. Okay.
Yes.
We can do this a couple different ways. So I'm going to introduce you to something real fast. And I think, have I introduced you to the model before?
That you did this.
Done it a few trainings before.
I don't know if this was the other week, or I don't know which week this was. I was writing down 90 miles an hour when it was that one lady. It was like that 30-minute that you talked with her, and I was writing down as fast as I could. And I was
Okay.
like, this makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Okay. So I'll do a quick review for you, because then we're going to plug in your thoughts that you're having and the results that you're getting.
Okay.
And we will figure out why you're stuck, why you're thinking that you're stuck. Okay. So being stuck, how do I want to go about this with you? So we have in life our thoughts and our circumstances, and circumstances those are facts. Okay. It is a fact. It is something that we could prove in a court of law. It is unchangeable. It is something that we all can agree on. Okay. That is our circumstance. Our thoughts are things that we have about our circumstances. So we think things about our circumstances. So we don't create anything until we have a thought about it. right? We don't create anything in our lives until we have a thought about it. So as a really good example, a little morbid example, but a good example is someone passes away. Okay. And once we find out about it, we'll have thoughts about that, right? How sad it is and how lonely we might be. I mean, we have all sorts of different thoughts and feelings about that. We don't have any feelings or thoughts. Like that wasn't the circumstance causing that. If that makes any sense. So maybe that didn't make sense. So we don't have a thought about, like our circumstance is not dictating our thoughts. It just is. Someone could be passed away for 2 days and we don't know anything about it.
Okay.
Okay. They could be like, my mom could have died 2 days ago and I just wasn't told. And so I know nothing about it. So we don't start having our feelings about that until we have a thought about that circumstance.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So circumstances just are. They just exist. Okay. Then we have our thoughts about the circumstances. Our thoughts are what are creating our feelings. So if we're feeling overwhelmed, if we're feeling sad, anxious, any of those feelings, those are created by the thoughts that we're having about our circumstance.
Okay.
Okay. When we have feelings, that's what drives our actions. So if I'm feeling sad, I tend to sit on the couch and do nothing. That's a pretty good action that I do. If you feel overwhelmed, sometimes we have inaction as a result of the feeling of overwhelm. We'll just not do anything. Some people get, angry and they'll stomp around the house. That's an action that they'll take when they're having a feeling. Our actions are what drive our results. That's where we're getting our results. Okay. So let's move to what's going on with you. Okay. So how are you feeling?
How am I feeling emotionally? Like not like, or me saying stuck or.
So stuck is not, it's not a true feeling. That's a thought.
Okay.
Being stuck is a thought. You're not stuck in your house. Your feet aren't cemented to the ground, right?
Okay.
So that's actually stuck is actually just in your thought line.
Okay.
Okay. But when you feel, when you're telling yourself you're stuck, how are you feeling?
Oh goodness. That's a hard one. I don't know. I'll sit here and I sometimes just get overwhelmed and I don't know where I'm going to start. I'll feel overwhelmed and saddened that I've come so far and not sure where I need to process next. And I don't know what kind of word to use for all that. So
so you said sad, you said overwhelmed. Which one of those feels a little bit more true to you?
Maybe discouraged could be one.
Okay.
Because I know I have it in me, but then I will displace myself because I feel like that I have so much on my plate that I'm not sure where to put myself next to balance me everywhere. Okay. And I'm not sure what word to use.
Okay, so you just said, I have so much on my plate. How does that make you feel when you say that?
How does it make me feel? I just want to sit and cry and put myself in a hole and not sure if I want to climb out.
So that's kind of where your overwhelm is coming from. Okay. Overwhelm and discouraged, like we can kind of interchangeably use them.
Yeah.
I feel like, because they really marry together very well.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me fix something here. So, okay. So why are we thinking we have so much on our plate? What are the circumstances that you're in at the moment?
Well, I was on vacation with my daughter and some other friends, and my husband called me and he had collapsed and he broke 2 bones in his leg and had to have surgery, and he's up on the couch and has a scooter. And so my duties have become more involved here at home. Okay. So I have to take care of that and then help my daughter at the store and everything on the back end, and then try to take care of my business and everything else. So I've taken on his duties and just added more. So,
okay. So,
so then that just makes me feel like I just don't feel like doing anything else.
Okay.
But that just happened in July. So that really just became on my plate. So before that, I still felt an overwhelm, like that. I don't know. It just kind of still felt stuck before that I was just not sure if I was still going in the right path for myself. Okay. So that's still.
Well, so that's right. So give me a specific example. When's the last time you felt that you had, you thought I had so much on my plate and you felt this overwhelm? Can you give me a specific example?
Even before that, because I guess because my daughter, well, we have this having the store, my daughter she likes to do the buying and playing stuff at the store, have to take care of everything in the back end. Okay. And then she'll say, I need you to come up here. I need you to do this. Like, I don't have anything to do. Like, I'm supposed to just drop everything I have and run up there and help her. Okay. She thinks I have nothing to do. And that just makes me feel like I'm less of a person. And that makes me overwhelmed with that because I'm just supposed to drop everything.
Okay. So daughter says, what does she say? I need you to.
What she just thinks that I sit at home and don't do anything.
What did she say very specifically though? Yeah.
What did she say specifically? Well,
what did she say?
One thing recently is like, Mom, why don't you just get a real job? You can go work at Chick-fil-A. That was one of the things she said recently in front of a crowd of people. And I'm like, excuse me?
Okay. I'm not sure.
That just put the icing on the cake. So like I do the windows at the store. I decorate the store. I do everything on the back end of the store. Okay. And then I just feel like after she says these things to me, it just pulls all the energy out of me. And then I feel like I have nothing left for me and at home and to give to customers. Maybe that's what it is.
Okay. So let's redo this because let me show you something. So when she says, Mom, why don't you go get a real job? Which seems to be hitting a little bit more home to you. That's not creating the thought, I have so much on my plate. What is that creating for you? What do you think about that? When she says, Mom, why don't you go get a real job? What do you think?
Maybe that's me giving in to her all these years since she was young.
What do you think about what she just said? She just says that to you and you think?
I think that she just stabbed a knife in my heart.
Okay, why?
Because everything I do for her, she just takes for granted.
Okay. So she says, daughter says, Mom, why don't you go get a real job? And I'm not sure that the thought that you're having that's creating your overwhelm is that she's taking things for granted. Why does this bother you that she says this? Those are just words that she says. What does that mean to you? Or how does that make you feel?
I guess it makes me feel unworthy, and
okay,
that I don't do enough for her. It's like the more I do, the more she takes.
So unworthy or don't do enough?
Probably unworthy.
Okay. So
I wasn't going to cry, and I'm going to probably start crying.
That's all right. We all do it. So it's okay. Okay. So when she says, Mom, no, why don't you go get a real job? You're thinking, I'm unworthy. Okay. That sounds a little bit more like what we're digging into. So when you think I'm unworthy, what feelings are you having at that point?
If I'm not worthy enough for her, then I'm not worthy enough for anybody else. That my mentality is not good enough to give to a client if I can't even give enough to a 25-year-old.
Okay. So you're feeling not good enough. Okay. And when we feel not good enough, how are you, what do your actions look like?
Just sitting here staring out in space and not getting anything done.
Okay. So we're having a lot of inaction?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And I would say too, we mentioned the overwhelm. Overwhelm kind of causes the inaction, but the overall feeling that you're having that's kind of creating that inaction isn't necessarily the overwhelm. So I think that's the interesting thing. So you're telling me I have this and this and this. You have all these things to do, right? Husband broke his leg. I have this business. My daughter has this business. And that's what's causing my overwhelm. But what's causing the overwhelm isn't all of the things. It's the thoughts that you're having I think in general. And that's what's interesting, and probably why you're having a hard time pinpointing what's wrong or how to fix it, because it's not the things. It's not the business. It's not the daughter's business. It's not the husband's leg. There's always going to be something, right?
Right.
When we don't take action, when you're thinking like, I'm not worthy, I'm unworthy, because then that's trickling into not just that I'm unworthy, for my daughter, I'm unworthy for my other real estate business. You're unworthy to take care of everything that you've got going on. You're looking for evidence all in those places to support your unworthiness. Does that feel to you?
Heartbreaking.
Does it feel true?
It makes sense for me, knowing that I'm capable of doing what I've been educated to do. And that deep down, that things, her actions and things that she's said to me, that I've let this happen. And that I've done nothing about it, and I continue to let it happen.
Okay. Can we control her though? Can we, this is our circumstance. This is a neutral thing. When she says, Mom, why don't you go get a real job? This is the cool thing. Okay. You can choose this. If she said that to me, would I feel the same way? I wouldn't.
I guess I've never been able to control it, and I guess I don't know how.
Mm-hmm. But you can't. That's not something, we can't control our circumstances.
Right.
And what happens is you will have thoughts about those circumstances in an attempt to control them. If we just think about it hard enough, if I do this different thing, right, like we're trying and we're spinning out, trying to find all the ways to fix this that doesn't need fixing. Because this is neutral.
So that doesn't need fixing because that's her and that's her problem.
Yes. So here's your daughter. Okay. My goodness, I am not rocking and rolling with this thing today. Okay. Okay. This is our relationship. We love our children, by the way, right? But they can be children. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not the world's best drawer. My kids will make fun of me for that. Okay. This is you. Okay. This is daughter. The relationships that we have are relationships, like we'll have thoughts and your daughter will have thoughts. This is the relationship that we have with each other. Okay. You don't need to control what she thinks. Hers is an individual. She can choose to think whatever she wants. And you can choose to think whatever you want. And what she thinks does not control you either. I'm going to flip back here for just a second. Okay. So what's causing you to feel unworthy?
Just what she says to me and her actions.
Okay. Why? Why is that causing you to feel unworthy? Your daughter just said words. Why do you feel unworthy because she said words?
It's a good question. I know. I guess because her dad died at a very young age, and I've just always tried to give her whatever to comfort her. And the more I've gave her, the more she's wanted, and it has not covered up her hurt. Mm-hmm. And then I've felt like that's been my fault. And there it's just got bigger and bigger and has not fixed anything.
Okay. So can it be your fault? It's my fault. Is it's my fault an actual circumstance? Is that true?
No. But then my mom and dad says it's my fault that I didn't get her any help, didn't I? I did not take her to the therapist. You should have took her. She wouldn't go. I'd had to drag her, blah this, blah that. Mm-hmm. And they say, well, you should have made her go, blah, 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 blah. And then that makes me feel bad. And then that's when I'd give her more. And anyway, then it's just a circle that keeps repeating.
Right. Right. And how are we loving this circle?
Oh goodness. I don't know. That circle just keeps going. I got it from my dad again yesterday. So
yeah. But are you enjoying? I mean, we're
not
seeing you enjoying this circle.
No, I'm not enjoying the circle.
Okay.
The circle makes me sick.
Yeah. And you just continue, right? All of these things with the unworthy. You're just stacking up the evidence.
Yes.
You got lots of evidence. The story you told me and all the things that you have going on and all the things that you say that everyone says that you do wrong. Man, you are stacking up evidence to just support that you're not worthy. Is this true?
No.
We do not all agree that you're unworthy. Your dad can think it. Your daughter could think it. Right? A client could think it. That doesn't make it true. I don't think it. You don't have to think it. This is just a thought that somebody decided to have. Your dad's thoughts that he decided to have and how he wants to fix your problems and what you should have done with your daughter and what you did wrong and all those things. Those are just the thoughts that he has, and he's trying to control what the circumstance was. The circumstance was just that your daughter's dad died. Right? That's the only true fact in that entire story that you just told me about everything that happened after that. What are you thinking right now?
I'm staring at that I'm an unworthy that you circled.
Because do you see where that comes from?
Yeah, and I can see that it has is playing back over all these years and steps that I've taken or not taken because of words that have been said and that I've let them get into my head. That I just didn't realize that I let that happen.
Yeah. Well, sometimes we hear it so much, or we replay that in our head so much, or we start to have that doubt creep in, and then all these other thoughts show up, and we start just creating all this evidence. Well, it must be true, right? It must be true because look at all this evidence. You came to me and the first thing that you told me and all the stuff that you told me when we started, you really believe all that's true. Right? You have mounds of evidence to show me how unworthy you are and how overwhelmed you're feeling. Yeah. Our overwhelm doesn't come from the things that we have to do. It doesn't come from the business. It doesn't come from the daughter. It doesn't come from any of that. That's where the cool part of this is you have the power to think whatever you would like about the circumstances that you have. And it's kind of a really weird mind shift. This is such a different way to think about life. It's like, it's yes. a little trippy. It's a little trippy. To really break these things apart, you can't disprove this. That is the amazing thing about this model. You can't disprove the results that we're having and the feelings that we have We don't have feelings until we have a thought about something. So what thought would we actually like to have about this something to get the feelings that we would rather have? Because we could sit in this, but it sounds like you don't want to sit in that.
No, I don't want to sit and stare anymore. I mean, I could sit at my desk and stare for 4 hours, and then I'm just like, I didn't get a thing done. But I felt like I sat here and worked all day long, and I'm just exhausted. I didn't do anything.
It would be exhausting if you walked around telling yourself you're unworthy all day long. You're wearing yourself out before you even get to try to do anything. So we can't control what others say. Right?
Right.
You can't control what your daughter thinks. You can't control all these other people here. We got dad, we got mom, grandma, grandpa, you know, we got everybody, and they've all got all these thoughts over here. Everybody's got all those thoughts. What they have is what we call a manual. I'm going to teach you a little bit about manuals. Okay. A manual is what it's almost like the list of rules, conditions of love, right? I will love you if you fulfill all these things. So for example, we think our manual, I'll give you a simple example of this. So with your daughter, okay, she has a manual for you. And her manual says, mom should have this kind of job. Mom should do this thing for me, right? I mean, she has a manual, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What's in her manual?
Well, I was trying to show her my new computer. You didn't need that. Why'd you get that? That's what she says. Why'd you get one? I needed one. Why didn't you buy me one? That's her thought pattern.
Okay.
Those are her things. Like, you don't get it. Why would you do that? If you get one, I get one. That's just always been her mentality.
Okay. So she thinks, yeah, if you get one, I get one. You should get a real job. You should get a different job. You should be doing this. She has this list of things that mom should be doing. And she's going to take that book, that manual, and she's going to hand it to you. And she said, oh, here's my conditions of love. If you want to please me, if you want to make me happy, if you want to fix me, right? Here's all the conditions that fix me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not your responsibility. We all have a manual for how we would like our spouse to treat us. Or, you know, if you take out the garbage, I will love you more. If you buy me flowers every once in a while, I will love you more, right? We all have these ideas, but that's all they are. They're just ideas that we came up with that we kind of put all nicely in this book, and we hand it to the other person and say, here's how you make me happy. Right? We don't need conditions. There shouldn't be conditions on love.
Yeah, and she makes me feel like that if I don't do some things for her, that she's going to just push me out of her life. That's how I feel. And that's why I do some of the things that I do.
Okay. So why do you have to do them? Why do you choose to do them?
Because I don't want her to love me any less, I guess.
Why would she love you less?
That's just sometimes the actions that I feel like I get from her.
Is that?
I'm not saying that it's true, but I just kind of feel that way. Or
So people have manuals in an attempt to control another person. That's what a manual is for. It's very similar to if you were to, like, you have the TV remote, right? And the TV remote controls the television, controls the channel, controls what's going on. It's almost like you're giving your TV remote to somebody else and say, here you go. Control all my emotions.
Yeah.
So how we think like determines the relationship that we're having. And when it comes to your daughter's thoughts, what would you rather think about that? What would feel better if your daughter says to you, Mom, go get a different job. Go get a real job. How would you like to feel when she says that?
I would really like to tell her to go get a real job and me stop having to put all our money into the store. That's what I'd like to tell. That's what I'd like to tell her. But then she'd get mad at me. That's what she does. She gets mad at me and turns around and walks away.
So what if she gets mad at you? What's the worst that could happen?
Oh, she probably wouldn't talk to me for a day or two. That's
okay.
it.
Okay. Why does it bother you when she has thoughts about anything, about your computer, about your job? Like, why does it?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I guess it's just that thing, me just trying to put her in that bubble and protect her. I really don't, or to protect me. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. How's that working?
Terrible. Just terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I really thought this was going to be more about real estate. And I feel like I'm just.
It's interesting though, when we're stuck. So that's one of the reasons why I certified to coach this way, because we think that our problems, we think they come from here. So we think, right, we're like, oh, I'm not selling enough houses. I'm not doing my work. What are the things I need to learn to do? What do I need to spend more time on my business? We're trying to solve our problem on our action line. We're trying to solve for, okay, you have all these things on your plate. That's the first thing you said to. I have all these things on my plate. Okay. All those things, number one, all those things, they could be all to you, but they're not all to me.
Right.
So that's just a thought you're having about the things that you need to do. So you have things to do. Okay.
Okay.
You're trying to skip past and solve, okay, how do I do all the things? Probably thought we're going to talk about real estate. Lisa, how do I just call on my clients? How do I just do my follow-up? How do I do all those things, right? And I could tell you some really great time management skills, and I could teach you all sorts of things about that. But that's not why you're not calling them. It's not because you don't know how. It's not because you don't have the tools. It's because you're not taking the action. But why are you not taking the action? What's causing you?
Because of all this up here.
Yeah. And is it really because you don't feel good enough? Where does it stem from? Our actions create our results, right?
Right.
Your results that you're getting are directly tied to what you think. So when you're busy stacking up all the evidence about how you're not good enough, that's what creates your inaction. Not a system, not a schedule for calling your leads. It's not that you don't know what to do. That feeling, that overwhelm that you're having, and the inaction that you're taking because of it, is from here. So what could we, oh, go ahead.
And that, I mean, that's true, because I know how to do everything, but never would have put all this together to think that, just never would have thought that way.
So what would you rather think? How would you rather feel? And I mean, we can take out what the daughter says. She's going to say stuff all day long, right?
Oh, yes.
And your dad's going to say stuff, and your mom's going to say stuff. So you got them coming from all angles. It's not truth. And as long as you're not busy collecting evidence of it to be truth, it's not, you don't have to believe that. So what do you think about you? Let's talk about your relationship with you.
Oh, that might be another bad one.
Okay. Here's the thing.
About me.
You're busy adopting all the thoughts that everyone else has about you.
I can see that, because I have thoughts that carry from my last job, what people would say directly to me. And I still think about those things to this day. And I'm like, why would they say that to my face when I would go over and beyond what they ask me to do? And I talk to my husband about this all the time. And he's like, well, you know, they only did that because, and I'm like, but it still bothers me.
Why does it bother you?
I don't know. I have no idea why it still bothers me. And I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a timeline. Okay.
I mean, this is something that happened 6 years ago.
Yeah. Here's your event. 6 years ago?
Yes.
Okay.
And they're just words.
Yeah. So here's your words 6 years ago. Okay. You're having thoughts still about those words. Will that ever change?
The words?
Will it ever change the words? Will it ever change the event?
No.
So why do we continue to think them?
That's a good. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know if it has stirred it up more. I've thought about it here more lately, and I don't know if I have, because of what my daughter said about me getting a real job. I needed to go to Chick-fil-A and apply, because that has happened in the last 2 weeks. And it happened with a group of people here at my house when she said it. And I don't know if that happened because of something that was said 6 years ago when I was working my full-time job. And that might be why all that has been brought back up in my head.
Okay. So you, the things that other people say, why does that matter to you?
I don't know. I just cared. I don't know. I just don't want people to think that I'm just a terrible person.
Why not?
I don't know.
What if they think you're a terrible person?
I mean, I'm not a terrible, because I'm not a bad person. I'm just.
But what if they think that?
Because I don't want them telling other people what they think that I'm not.
Can we control any of that?
No. No.
And the spinning of trying to control all that outside of you and everyone else's thoughts, that's exhausting. No wonder why you're tired. Because you're busy thinking to try to control what everybody else is thinking. That is emotionally, that can be emotionally exhausting.
Yeah. Too bad there's not some kind of machine that can suck that stuff out of your head.
You can, really. What would you rather think?
I'd rather just not think about it at all.
So don't. Why do you need to think about it?
I don't know. I don't know why I even think about it. I don't know if there's, I don't know. I don't know why it even triggers me. I don't know. I don't know if it's these little tidbit words that sorry. It's like, how do I get that to go off? You know, when you have Max, everything goes on. Yes. It's if she says one thing, it's like things just start triggering. It's like, why would she say that? That sounds like this person over here.
But why wouldn't she say it?
Why would my daughter?
Yeah, why not? She thinks Chick-fil-A is a real job. I think real estate's a real job. Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a hard job.
Yeah, but why does it matter that she says it?
I guess because I want to know why does she feel like that she has to say it? Maybe because I hadn't gave her enough money lately. I don't know.
Okay, so remember, what comes first? What comes first? Her feeling. Let's say what you just said. Maybe she feels like she's not getting enough money from you. So then she thinks you should get a real job. Our feelings don't create our thoughts. Our thoughts are creating our feelings. You are not responsible for her feelings. Her thoughts are responsible for her feelings. You can't control this because you can't control her thoughts. And no matter how many times we tell ourselves over and over and over, right? We beat ourselves. It's like punching yourself in the face. Just keep punching yourself in the face over and over and over again. If you do it enough, somehow you're going to change this. Somehow you're going to change this. Neither of those things can be changed. This is not your responsibility. Someone else's feelings are not your responsibility.
I know, but I feel like because she's my child, it should be my responsibility. Like maybe I should have done something better.
Why?
Different. I don't know.
Yeah. What if you should have? What if you could have? What if you could have been awful? What if you could have been worse? And what if you could have just beat the snot out of her whole life? What if you could have given her away?
That's true.
So you're over here telling yourself, I could have been better. I should have done this better. I could have done this, right? Well, you also could have just gotten rid of her. You could have just sat home and drank all day long and been, an unsupportive parent. You could have been homeless.
Yeah. That's true. Hadn't thought of those things.
We could have done a lot of different things, right?
Yeah.
But for good or for bad, for both ways.
looks like I got a lot of thinking to do this afternoon.
A little bit. It's a little bit to process.
Yeah.
And you might have to come back to me. And that's okay too. But just know you don't have any feeling that you don't want to have. Other people don't get to control your feelings at all. And it's a lot of retraining, because when we hear them say things to us, right, we take that and then we start to think thoughts about it. And then a lot of times our result is we are busy creating evidence that those thoughts are true. You said I'm a bad mom. My brain's going to look for all the ways that I'm a bad mom. How is this sitting with you?
It's quite scary to me. Scary that I've let it all happen, and actually it's sinking down hard and giving me this little hard pit in my stomach at the moment.
Okay.
I guess to know that, I mean, I have given her everything, and I get the more I give, the more she takes. I don't know how much more I could give her, because the more I give her, it takes away from me, even as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And that I can't do for myself. It's like there's literally, I've lost me. That's what I've done.
Yeah. In an attempt to control the way somebody else feels.
Yeah.
Which leaves you feeling discouraged
and hopeless. Yep.
So I don't want to leave you feeling hopeless, of course, right? Because there's power. There is so much power. And that's the part that I want you to kind of continue to think more about. And then legit probably sign up to come back next week, because it's a very hard transition. I would challenge you to write down what you would like to think about yourself. You spend a lot of time hearing and absorbing other people's thoughts about you. What do you want to think about yourself?
What comes to mind is being, instead of unworthy, worthy. It's a church song, I Am Worthy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're religious.
Not to the religious that I go to church every Sunday. No.
Who said perfection meant going to church every Sunday? Perfection's not a thing.
I mean, back probably 10 years ago, I just remember this song that He is worthy, I am worthy. That's what pops into my head.
So we're going to do what's called an intentional model. And this is what I want you to work on. Hold on, let me get to another page. Okay. I ask if you're religious because I want to share something with you. It's a thought that I have that helps me.
Okay.
Because let me tell you, even myself, I suffered for 4 or 5 years with other people telling me that I was a piece of garbage, and I believed it, and I believed it, and I believed it. Right. And it just makes you so unhappy, until I realized that's why this was so liberating for me, that they can think whatever they want. That's their problem. That can be a problem for them. It's not a problem for me.
Right.
Right. And that's okay. That's okay. Okay. So you want to feel like I am worthy. We're going to this is just you. Okay. Our circumstance is just how you feel about you. Okay. You want to feel I am worthy. Or you want to think I am worthy. How does that make you feel? When you say I am worthy, how do you feel?
Actually different things. Besides happy, excited, joyful, pink's my favorite color, so I can say tickled pink.
Tickled pink.
Yeah. Helpful, hopeful. I like helping other people. I like doing things for other people. So giving, like I could give more.
We're not talking more. There's no more. That's adding a condition to what you're saying.
Okay.
Happy, joyful. There's no more about it. You feel happy. Happy and joyful inside you.
It's like I can just put a smile on my face because I am because sometimes it's hard for me to smile just because I just feel blah. I mean, I can just sit here and stare out in the space. Mm-hmm. So it just brings me the joyful feeling of gratefulness that because people can see me as that I have a gift to give.
We don't care how other people see you.
Okay. There we go again.
Yep.
Saying that.
Yep. We don't care how other people think about you. We don't care what they think. We don't care. We can't control what they think, how they feel. Doesn't matter. How do you feel? When you tell yourself you're worthy, you feel happy, joyful, makes you smile. It has nothing to do with anyone else.
Okay.
Only you. Okay. When you feel happy and joyful, what do you do?
What do I do?
Yeah. What type of actions do you take? How does that show up in your life? When you feel happy, think of a great day. You wake up, you feel like, you know what? I'm the bomb, right? I'm worthy. You feel so happy. What do you do?
Things I like to do? I like to get my ribbon out and make bows. I do crafts. I would start doing things in the house. I would sit at my desk, get my real estate out. I'd work on it. Mm-hmm. I like going outside, so I would take a walk. Call my parents. Because when I get down, I don't even call my parents. So that's bad.
That's not bad. It's not anything. It's just calling your parents. Okay. Calling or not calling. No good or bad about it.
Go to Home Goods. Because when I get blah, I won't even go to a store. I like going to Home Goods or Hobby Lobby. Actually just going outside, walking around the field.
Okay.
Playing with my grandoodles. I used to do that a lot. I wouldn't do that. So that's probably about it.
Okay.
But I'm more of a homebody, so I like staying around the house.
Okay. So, which is great. Whatever, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And I used to love to plant flowers. in my pots. I bet you I haven't done that in 4 years. So the day that I do that and have that much energy, that will be a massive turnaround.
Okay. Plant flowers. Okay. I'm going to change something here. Hold on. I want you to see this. Okay. So when you're happy, you're joyful, you go on your walks, you call your parents, you shop, you work, all these things that you're telling me that, you know, kind of you love to do, right? Okay, you plant your flowers, you make your bows. All of these things, all of these actions are creating evidence and like stacking up. We wonder how we get out of that hole. Have we heard all these things our whole life? And how do we everybody always says, just forgive, right? Just forgive. And I'm like, how the heck do you just forgive? Like, but no one gives you any steps to get there. And there are steps that it takes to change what we've been doing for a lot of years.
Right.
Right. So then all these things that you're doing, you are continuing to create evidence of your worthiness. You're continuing to support that happiness. And all that came from you just thinking, I'm worthy. This feel a whole lot better than this.
Oh, yes.
Is this one. Oops, throwing my stuff on the floor. Okay. Throw more stuff on the floor. Right. So we either can continue to create evidence that we're unworthy, or we can choose a different thought. We can choose to wake up and say, I am worthy. I'm worthy every day. Has our circumstance changed? We can't change the circumstances. We can't change the other people. We can't control their feelings. This is never going to change. Where we find control is in what we think about it.
I'm going to put a sticky note on my mirror.
Good reminder. Good reminder. Mm-hmm. And separate out when someone says something to you. Think not is that true? Because sometimes we're like, oh my gosh, it's so true. They think that I'm this awful person, or I should have done this different, or whatever, right? Like, is that a fact? Is that a fact? Daughter says, go get a real job. Is that a fact? Is my job not a real job? No, it's not a fact. That's subjective. Parents say you should have done everything different, right? You screwed up your child. Is that a fact?
No.
Because you could have really screwed her up if you wanted to, right? Not a fact. But if they want to think that, that's okay. It doesn't have to hurt us. It only hurts us if we think it hurts us, if we let that in. So the reason I brought up religion, and I'll share with you. So a friend of mine who's also a coach, she made this comment to me, and I was like, oh, that is very interesting. So I don't know what you believe, but we most people believe like we're put on earth and we have agency. We get to make choices. Good, bad, indifferent, like we get to make choices, right? We're not controlled, right? Satan's plan was control you, right? Heavenly Father's plan, nope, you get to make choices. So we're all here to make choices. So we physically, like we can be here and we have that agency to make choices. What Satan really loves to do to us is bind us right here.
Yeah.
He's found a way. He has found a way. He has found a way to take away our agency to where we think we don't have a choice. We think that if our daughter says something like this to us, that we don't have a choice. I keep going to the wrong one. We need to get rid of that one, right? But when our daughter says this, we think we have no choice but to feel unworthy. I have no choice but to feel like I did something wrong. I have no choice but to think I really need to make her feel better. I have no choice but to think I didn't do enough. But you do have a choice.
Well, that's a good way to look at it. Better way to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so true.
Mm-hmm. I hope that helps.
It does. And I greatly appreciate it.
Good. What did you love about our session today?
Getting down to the root of the problem. Because I actually thought it was just going to be all real estate, and it was just going to be like, and I've been struggling with this issue for so long and really just didn't know that that's what it was. So, and you nailed it.
Yeah. Kind of liberating.
Yes. So now I've got a lot of work to do, a lot of thinking. I think a lot of journaling.
Yeah.
I take my little book to bed with me, and then I'll sit there, and then it's like, just can't write it down because it's just like, it's so deep that I just can't do it. So now maybe I can start writing and just get it out.
Yeah. And recognize
yes.
what it is that you're writing. Is it really true?
Yeah, I used to write, so whatever was in my head, so if I wrote it down, it would help release it and get it out of me. Mm-hmm. So with going over this, maybe that'll help again, and I can get it out.
Mm-hmm. And we can still not love that our child says something like this to us. We don't have to be like completely indifferent. We're like, that doesn't hurt my feelings, right?
Right.
I mean, yeah, it's not a kind thing to say. We can definitely think that. Right. But it's not kind, but it doesn't have to make us feel unworthy.
Yeah.
You're awesome.
You are too.
Oh, thanks.
Mm-hmm. You always are.
Thanks. Oh, no, I don't know about always.
Yes, you are.
Y'all don't see behind the scenes. There's never an always. My husband might argue that, or my children. I've been told many things by my children too. That's okay. It's amazing to know that we have the choice.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I greatly appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here today and sharing, because you are not the only one. You are not the only one. This is for a lot of people. So by you sharing, right, you are helping a lot of other people. So just know that.
No, thank you.
Thank you. Make me get all sappy and all, but truth. That's truth. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Okay.
Bye.